actually, there are some ways that are about equally easier than other ways. Okay? So, we're gonna start out with using stools. Okay, so you can have a set of graduating stools. You can have a set of graduating stools. One is about the height of the rigging, then 3 inches lower and 3 inches lower. We're not gonna worry about the graduated stools. That's the way people who have tetraplegia would start by doing push-ups going forward. Okay, but we're gonna start out with just using one stool, okay? And so now he's not wearing braces or crutches. He's not wearing braces or a pelvic band or anything. Just swing the foot pedals out of the way. So if you're doing one stool technique, you can have them transfer forward onto the stool, or you can have them transfer sideways onto the stool. So if we look forward, what you're gonna do is pick up your legs and bring them over the stool. Okay, and this one, over the stool, and now push up forward, don't slide, push up. Okay, and I'm gonna move the stool down here. And so with this way, what he would do is put one hand on the armrest, especially he has desk arms, and he could actually do one of two ways. He could put both hands on the armrest, on the desk arms, okay, and I'm gonna just hold on to his belt or gate belt or whatever. I want you to push up and slide yourself down, okay? Now, same thing holds true, push up, and if he looks up, then he'll come forward, his butt will come forward instead of his feet, okay? Now, from here, it's a lot easier to do a pivot transfer than to do a forward transfer, okay? So, use your arms to move your legs to the side, and you can let them bend your leg, and put one hand on the floor, one hand on the, wherever, if he can get his hand on the stool, that's fine, if not on the seat. Now, push up and around, so you look down to your left. Okay. So he's just doing a pivot transfer going down, okay? And then he would be doing a pivot transfer coming up the same way, okay? So bend your legs a little bit more. Now, his legs probably won't stay, they might just fall to one side or another, that's okay. Put your one hand here, one hand close to you, and you have to really tuck and lean forward, lift your hips up and over. And I'm just here, remember this is someone, and now just pull back, bring your legs back. So remember, this is someone who is independent in transfers, independent in ambulation, or close to independent in ambulation. So he's not gonna need a lot of guarding as far as, because he's strong, he's not gonna need a lot of guarding for help, it just might be being able to twist the hips a little bit. Now you wanna curl your legs under you a little bit more. Okay, 2 hands on the armrest if you can. Okay, or one hand on the seat, one hand on the armrest. Tuck and push up and back. Okay, so what I do is, when he got the tuck, if he wasn't going back, I had one hand against the femur to try and help him push back. Okay, so there's one way to use the stool, okay? The other way to use the stool is to use it in a pivot down transfer. You like to pivot to the left or to the right?
Doesn't matter.
Okay, so let's take this stool out of the way. And what we're gonna do is imagine when he does a pivot, okay, come forward and angle that way. Okay, and move your feet forward like you're gonna do a regular transfer. This one, okay, now not quite that forward. Back, and move the other one back. Okay, now I have to imagine if this is the center of the circle, where I wanna put this. So if I put it too close, when he does the pivot, he's gonna wind up here. If I put it too far away, he's gonna wind up here. So I need to imagine the length of his thigh, where he's gonna wind up, which by my eye would look something like that, okay? So, now, you see where your left foot is on the outside of the wheelchair, of the wheel? Bring it on the inside. Okay, because if he came down and pivoted and that foot is over there, it could twist his knee. Okay, now put one hand on the seat of the chair, one hand here, and again, I'm in a open stance position. Now you're gonna push up, look down and to the left, and down. Okay, and then from here, he would continue, move your legs to the left. Yeah. Okay, put one hand on the floor, one hand on the stool, and look down to your left, and come on down. Okay, so that's going down using a stool as just a pivot point. Okay, and coming up, what you have to do with his legs is to twist them so they're facing the other way. Aren't you glad you wear a sweatshirt today, huh? Okay, so this hand comes back a little bit more. Okay, back towards me, a little push up towards me. Okay. Okay, so now, and bend your knees some more, because I want, if his knees are bent, he doesn't have to drag the weight of his knees. Okay, one hand here, one hand close to you, in a fist if you want to, or wherever you're comfortable. Okay, push up, look down and to the left, to the right, and come on up. And then he would continue, okay, with one hand there, and here, look down to the right, up and over. Okay, so that's one way, two ways to go down. Okay, now, if his arms are long enough or the wheelchair is low enough, you can get rid of the stool. And you can just use the length of your arms. You do one more, okay. Come to the edge, angle all the way to the left. Okay, and put one hand on the floor, and now just let yourself down. Okay. So we need a little bit more help with that. Okay, and now coming up will be much more difficult to push up from the floor, so use a stool for your hand. Okay, and move your legs off to the left. You want to make things as biomechanically sound as possible, okay? Look down, push up, and over. Okay, so if I didn't give him a stool, could give him a push-up block or anything like that. Okay, so those are all